Hey, welcome back to Kicking It with Mia, and we're just going to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. But before we get into it, y'all know the drill. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on over here and kick it with your girl. So we back in Potomac, and they are still at the little game day thing. And Ashley is Ashley, and we find out that she has been talking to Sharice's son. Sharice's son is 27. So the age is not the big deal for me because they're 10 years apart. It's not like he is, early 20s or something like that. He's almost 30. But the thing for me that's a little weird is like you're cool with Sharice. I'm pretty sure you knew him when he was younger. They've been on this show quite a while. About 10 years or so you knew him maybe when he was 17. Not sure, just, throwing it out there. It's just like Ashley. It's so many other men. Why Sharice's son? And then not only that, like, y'all, some of y'all are acting like y'all are surprised by Ashley's actions. I'm not. We know Ashley get down. Ashley wasn't with Mike for that long for nothing. They both, are freaked out and be doing stuff. So I'm not surprised. Like, I am not surprised. I think the issue came when Ashley is sneaking with him. Like, I believe she said something about how she snuck in her house and she thought Cherie was gonna see it on her cameras. It's like, okay, Ashley, you too grown to be sneaking into somebody's house, especially that you got your own house. But maybe you didn't take him to your house because your kids was there. Y'all could have got a hotel or whatever y'all doing. But sneaking in somebody's house at this big grown age is crazy. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, if it was a man and a woman, it'll be a different situation. And I'm not going to debate that. We know some people will be madder at the situation. But for me, I feel like if the woman is damn near 30, almost 30, and she's dating a 37-year-old, like, that's not a big deal to me in terms of the age gap, right? Because she's almost 30. Like, she would be more mature, just like he's mature. But at the same time, it's weird because, like I said, Sharice is y'all supposed to be cool. I don't want to say they friends because we know this is the show and we know how it go on these shows. But I would say they're cool enough. There's a mutual respect there that, like, out of all the men, it's her son. Like, girl, be fucking for real. And sneaking in her house to go give him some, allegedly. Like, that's just not a good look. Like, Ashley, it's too many men out here that you can be on. Girl, but we know Ashley a little hot pocket. Ashley gonna go. Like, she don't want to be with no man who don't got a coin. Like, I don't think she would take a man that don't got a coin seriously if, like, to settle down in a relationship with. But as far as giving them that thing, oh, all you gotta do is look good and woo her. It look good in her eyes, put it like that. And woo her, and she going. Like, that's just that. We see Tia with her family, and she's basically getting on them about cleaning up, if I'm remembering correctly. And they're being typical kids, don't want to do what they need to do, or if they are doing it half-assing it. I know she said something about how they'll open something and throw it on the floor. Absolutely not. Like, you need to stop that in the tracks, and hopefully she's getting it together now. That's what it seemed that she's trying to do, because throwing stuff on the floor, baby, that's a quick, take their electronics and stuff. Like, these new kids, I'm a firm believer in disciplining your kids. I'm gonna just say that. Not beating your kids, not abusing them, but if they need to get a whooping, depending on what they did, it might be needed. I'm not saying abuse them and, hit them anywhere. Hit them on their bottom and whatever the case is. But I will be the first to say that a whooping does not always, work. You have to start taking stuff from these kids, especially these new age kids. With them, we're being in a place now where everything is electronics, social media. And, these kids that are growing up now are strictly, all they know is electronics, phone, games, social media. That's all they know. So forget the whoopings. I'm taking devices. You're not getting on that phone. You're not getting on that iPad. You're not, you might not even watch TV. Like, yeah, you're not getting on social media. You're not doing none of that. And I promise you would get some type of act right. All you gotta do is take what they like, and you will get some type of act right. But I like Tia so far. Like I said before, I think Tia is a good addition. Some of y'all don't like her, but I like Tia. I think Wendy, and her house is actually very nice. We know she got the renovations done. I can see the courts trying to use this in their case. Like I've always just said, I hope they have good attorneys and everything works out the best for them. But I do feel like they are going to try to use this footage from these scenes against them. But her house is actually very nice. I like what she did with the renovations. It looked good. Wendy called her daddy and he answered, and she speaks to him. And he's saying that, he wants to do better. I don't know this man from a can of paint. I don't know if I completely believe that he truly wants to do better, just from the situation that Wendy has said, when she went to see him, he didn't come, and just the little stuff that has been going on and her not seeing him in all these years. But I do understand, that side of things for Wendy. Like, that's a void that she wants to fill, and that's a void that she's missing and that she wants to be a part of. Her daddy is here and he's living, so she wants to try to mend their relationship. I get that. Some people may not understand that because people handle things differently. Like Wendy's sister, she don't care to talk to him, but Wendy still wants that relationship. And I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Did y'all think that Wendy's father kind of put you in the mind of Eddie? I think that I was like, okay, I could see a little, Wendy, she got somebody that kind of look like her daddy. But I know people may not understand that, why she's chasing their relationship. But it could be, that's something that she wants and that she's always wanted. And not only that, he's here, like I said, it's one of those things where you can do it. Why not? Everybody won't like it. Kay moved back with Greg. And she's saying that, she still had a condo. It's in her name. And I guess he's paying for it. Which, like I said, if you gonna move back and he gonna pay for the condo, let him pay for it. Just make sure it's in your name. So, she doing that? Okay, kudos to that. But Greg absolutely played in her face. Played big time in her face. And the way I would have cussed Greg out, because now you playing with me in my face on camera. Like, he got this box. First of all, he got the box and he put it in a bigger box to hide stuff from her. Okay, cool. But then he got the jewelry bag from the jewelry store bag from the jewelry store that her mother and Angel went with him. So she see the name of it, the name on the bag. She's thinking it's some type of jewelry. This man that got her a damn picture frame. Like Greg, the way I would have cussed his ass out just for playing in my face. Like, and Keiarna is acting like she's cool, but I know she's really not. Just because Keiarna is that girl that wants a ring. She's that girl who feel like getting married, getting a ring, that's gonna change the way a motherfucker act. I think that's what she think in her head. I don't know, but I know that's just something that she wants. Like, we know that. Like, if you've been watching, y'all know that Keiarna wants to be married. Stacey struck a nerve when she told her that she wasn't married, or that she, so she wants that. So she's willing to put up with it. And like I said before, I'm all for couples doing what works for them. We may not understand it on the outside looking in, but hey, that's your life, boo. Live you. Live your life, do you. So, hey, if you like it, I love it. But I just hope you was a part of this picture frame fiasco for the cameras, because if it's not, he's clearly playing in your face. And it's one thing for y'all, you know, to be trying to get on the same page, but it's another thing when you're playing in my face. And this is playing in your face because a picture frame in the jewelry bag. Quit playing with me. Tia meets up with her sister, and this sister is their half sister. It's her half sister. They have the same dad but not the same mother. Her sister, I believe, still stays in Nigeria, and her name is Amira. She's very pretty. She actually looks like Tia's daughters. Like her daughters look more like her sister than they look like her. And they are talking because they're just now beginning to form a relationship. I guess since her father passed, they are now forming a relationship. So it seems like they are. It's a situation where the daddy had a baby on Tia's mother, basically, and they may be the same age or somewhere close in, like not too far from each other. That's why Tia did say that she seen the baby when she was younger, and she went back and told her mother, but her mother probably didn't know what she was talking about. So that means he had the baby around, you know, the other lady, Tia around the other woman. And so her mother, you know, rightfully so, felt the way. But unfortunately with them, with, you know, the situation, then that meant that her and her sister, you know, they have never really had a relationship. She also has a brother too. And they have never had that relationship until the father passed. And Tia said it's because, you know, she didn't want people to look at her crazy, and not only that, because of her mother. She didn't want, you know, her mother to feel a certain type of way. And that her dad had always tried to get them together. She mentioned that her dad tried to get her to invite them to her wedding, and she was like, absolutely not, this is my day. But it probably was because her mother, you know, which, I mean, I don't know if I'm, but if she just said that, you know, she wasn't doing it. And like I said, I get it. When you're in situations like that, you just never know how it's gonna go. And then that's a hard situation, because at the end of the day, your daddy was wrong. He wanted y'all to be close, but y'all know how they go. Y'all, you know, you had a baby on this woman. I believe she moved, and you know how they go. So thankfully they are, you know, building their relationship now, forming their relationship. So hopefully everything works out and they get closer. So we end this Potomac episode with Wendy and her mother and her sister getting into it. So her mother is at her house. They, you know, they came to see the renovation, and she tells them that, you know, she has been in contact with her father. They don't like that. So her mama kind of started going off. She doesn't want her kids there to hear, you know, the adult conversation. So she tell her son to take the daughter upstairs. And, you know, the daughter looking confused. I'm like, hold on, Wendy, you had to say take them upstairs a little too many times, but we ain't gonna get into that. So, but the kids probably like, what the hell going on? You know, they looking, they all slowly going up the stairs trying to listen. And so they get to talking about it. Wendy mom is mad because she felt like Wendy is betraying her talking to the father. And I know I've seen a lot of women saying Wendy was wrong. And I'm a person that like to see stuff from different angles. And I could really, I understand her mother. She said she worked 4 jobs, so she had to put her through college. And she had to take care of her kids, and he left her, and she had to do it all on her own, which I get that. But then Wendy mama get remarried, because Wendy said her stepdad came into her life, I think, right when she was becoming a teenager, or they got married when she was a teenager, something like that. So we not gonna go into that part. But the Wendy's biological daddy left her. Like, left the mama, and the mama still resents that. And, you know, I get it. Like, but at some point, you gotta let those feelings go. At some point, you have to accept that, yeah, you as the mother, you put in all the hard work. You know, you did the leg work. You put her through school. You did all of these things, you know, as her mother, but at the same time, you're her mother. So, you know, not excusing the dad, definitely not doing that, but you her mother, that's like, you was gonna do that because that's your child and, you know, you love her. But at the same time, her being her person and she's wanting that relationship and she's searching for that, it's like you really can't be too mad that she's pursuing that, because I am a firm believer, very firm believer, if a person ain't shit and this man, she went to Nigeria and this man didn't show up and she felt the way, and it keep happening in different ways. He didn't tell her happy birthday, but he told his brother or somebody. Like, it's different signs. But you have to let Wendy see that for herself. Do y'all feel where I'm coming from? Like, we can tell them all day, oh, your daddy ain't shit, he ain't shit, he ain't dick. You can say that. But if a child wants that relationship, and I'm just speaking on people, period. If they want that relationship with whatever that void that they are trying to fill, they have to see for themselves that he really ain't shit for real. Like, he stood y'all up in Nigeria. Wendy, she's okay with letting that slide and still wanna pursue this relationship. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. And I feel like her mama needs to take a step back, do what you do, have your relationship with him. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I told you, but it is what it is. Now you know, you see what it is, and we can move on with our lives. That's really how she needs to handle this situation. And just keep them separately. Like, you don't have to update your mother on what you've done with your dad, or to, you know, that you trying to talk to him if you know that's a sore spot for her and it's gonna make her lose her temper every time. I did think her mama and her sister were doing too much, just because at the end of the day, Wendy is grown. That's her right. You know, if she want to foster that relationship and stuff, that's her right. I did think it was funny though when they was yelling, "Bring Eddie out, bring Eddie out," and he had on a "Bring Eddie Out" shirt. That part was funny. I do like that Eddie was consoling Wendy and telling her that, you know, because Wendy felt like her sister and her mom always double team her, and she's always on the outs, and she's used to that. So I feel like that's the void that she wants with her dad. So she said it, that she could have somebody on her side, and Eddie was like, well, I'm on your side, you know. So I thought that was nice and sweet. That's what a man do, baby. That's what a man who want to be their good man do. Clock it. But yeah, I just think this is a situation where Wendy, you gonna pursue this situation, girl, quit updating your mama and your sister, because you know you're not gonna get nothing but negativity, bad wigs, and bleach cream. That's all you gonna get from them. Like, so don't even update them. Pursue that relationship. If it worked, great. If it don't, you know, your mama told you. You think for yourself, it is what it is. Let's keep it moving. You tried, you know in your heart that you did what you felt that you wanted to do, and you pursued it. So if something ever happens, you don't feel like you have that regret. You feel me? That's why when people do be doing certain stuff, it may not make sense to us on the outside looking in, but people do stuff for their own sanity and to not have those regrets and stuff. And because she's missing that void, she wanna fill that void and foster that relationship. Her mother, it is what it is. Wendy is grown as hell. What happened with you and this man was years and years ago. You've been remarried and all of that. Let it go. And if you're not gonna let it go, great, fine, but don't make her feel so bad that she have to choose a side. That's the problem. Like, she's making her choose a side. I'm a firm believer, if a person ain't shit, she will see that he ain't shit if he still ain't shit. And he's low-key kind of showing her, But she's not seeing it just yet. And that's okay. Like, do your thing and just keep me out of it. That's how I see it. So, we back in Atlanta. And we seeing what the Married to Medicine girls got going on. So, they are still at Brandy's dinner. Contessa is still being a hater. She acting like because her husband spent a couple $1,000 that it's not it. Like, Contessa is getting on my nerves, y'all. We know that Quiet is telling Simone not to speak ill of her and Cecil's relationship. Simone is saying she needs a high rise and she's about done. The ladies kind of switch gears and they sing happy birthday to Brandy. Simone talks to Heavenly. And Heavenly talks about how, you know, she went off on her son when she found out that he had got arrested. And she was like, I cussed their ass out. I don't know how to talk to him. Her son never disrespected her. He just got his stuff and he left. And I know she said on something that she hasn't talked to him and it's been a year. So hopefully that they, you know, they speak. Because at the end of the day, matters if y'all like Heavenly, if we think Heavenly is right or wrong. Matters the case, that's her son. And when you have kids and you've taken care of it, that's your son. And so, yeah. Simone is telling Heavenly, you know, that she can't really be too mad because they've created these monsters. Like, and Simone, one thing I will say, so at least Simone know. Like, she's taking a little bit of accountability. We do find out that her son came down here and told us that she didn't buy him a Tesla. So, she take accountability, but she's still giving them what they want. So, you know, hey, if that's your MO, baby, do your thing. Yeah, like I said, it is what it is. These kids are just privileged and they just been handed everything to them. So when consequences and stuff come and it's time for them to have some type of responsibility, they just don't know how to do it. Heavenly went off on her son and cussed him out, so he left. Simone, she done went off on her son and then later on bought him another Tesla. So I don't know where it's the learning experience in that. But hey, if you like it, then baby, who are we to tell you not to do what you do with your coin? See Toya and Eugene, and it's Toya. We know she gonna be complaining about something. A lot of y'all are talking about how Toya disrespected Eugene. This is nothing new. Toya has been disrespecting Eugene for the longest since they've been on the show. Like, this is Toya. She's still complaining about him working, which I get it. She's saying she's a married single mother. I get that, you know, you want him home. But if y'all are trying to open up a space and y'all are trying to do different stuff, he needs to make the coin. And his reasoning is that, you know, 5 hours away, they are paying him more money for less hours than what he was making in Atlanta. So, and like I said this in like the previous video or the first video that they came back, but I said that that Eugene is probably getting paid more for less work. So even though if he would have been at home and still having to go to work, he probably would have been picking up more shifts. So he still wouldn't have really been at home. Yeah, he would have been in Atlanta. He would come home every day or every other day because, you know, sometimes if certain stuff happen, you still can't go home. They'll put you in a hotel or something. But he would be coming home, put it like that, every day, but he still wouldn't be there because he would be picking up more hours just to make that money, if that makes sense. So I get his reasoning, especially if he's saying, you know, I can't just leave and I still have this on the back end that I'm trying to do because this takes money. And the only way for me to get this money is to work a job where I don't feel like I'm overworking myself. I can get paid more and we can still be good on the back end and do what we need to do. Once I make this bread and we're getting this taken care of over here, then I can transition because now that endeavor is bringing the money that the ER is bringing in. I get what he's saying. Toya is Toya is always looking for a reason to complain. I just feel like she's at the house. Like, I feel like, yeah, you're a stay-at-home mom. And I get it, your kids are probably in sports. You know, they may be into different stuff and you're running around all day. I absolutely get that. But it's not like you have babies. These are not babies. These boys are old enough to do most of the stuff for themselves. Like, they are doing, you probably just have to drive them around and, you know, do this and that. But for the most part, these aren't little kids where, you know, it's a different ball game when you're a stay-at-home mom with little babies. That's different from teenagers. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like Toya be looking for a reason to complain. And it's like, Toya, you know that's what he does. You know he likes to work. I'm wondering at this point, did Eugene take this job too? Yes, more money, but to get a break from Toya. Because Toya could be annoying. And it's just like, she needs to really find herself. I don't know. I think she did say she had some stuff going on with like a bag or something. Like designing a bag or something. I don't know what Toya, but Toya, maybe you need to go take up the interior design. It seems like it's something that you are good at and that you would be good at. Start designing people's houses or something. Like, she needs something to do with her time, and that way she won't be so focused on Eugene. And not only that, you a stay-at-home mom. Girl, hire somebody to watch y'all kids a couple of days out of the week or every other week and go be with your man if it's that big of a deal. Like, I just feel like she's just making problems. And she did say, though, that Eugene puts on an act and he's not like that off camera. And I could see that. I really can see that. I feel like Eugene probably genuinely is a nice person, is what he gives. But Toya probably be getting on his damn nerves, and he probably do be cussing her ass out. But a person like Toya, you know, I'm just to cuss your ass out. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just like me. I am genuinely a nice person, and I'm cool, calm, and collected. But I still, with my men, I will cuss your ass out when you're getting on my nerves. That don't mean that I'm a bad person. That means that quit fucking playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Quiet goes to see Dr. Jackie, and we know Dr. Jackie is handling all her labs and stuff for the doctor that's in Ghana. She's doing like the work, you know, that needs to be done, and she just send the stuff off to him is what I'm thinking. That way she won't have to be doing all that traveling back and forth, which is great. King seems to have done a lot of research, which I like. I'm like, okay, King, I love a man who, you know, do the research and, you know, understand what's going on and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I like that. I know a lot of y'all, it's so fun. This is why I say, y'all, live y'all life how the hell y'all want, because these comments be crazy. A lot of people was on King's neck last week. Oh, he's not that interested in quiet, and he act like he don't want a child, and blah, blah, this. And I said that I didn't think he just didn't want the child. He just may be in a place where if it happen, it happen. If it don't, it don't, you know. But that don't mean he doesn't want it. A lot of y'all now, it's because he's interested and he have done his research. Oh, King is a good man, quiet guy. Y'all, y'all fans is crazy as hell. That's why I always say, fuck what these people be saying. Do whatever works for you, because they gonna have something to say, good or bad. But I do like that he did his research. It's great that he did his research. He seems like he's very interested in what's going on, which is great. He know the process, and yeah, so hopefully everything works out for them. We see Dr. Mimi and Steve, you know, and they have their kids, and they're out driving on their way somewhere. And we learned that, well, they told us that their son has autism, and that the son and the daughter are very close in age. And so the son has autism. He's kind of frustrated, so he hits his sister. The sister is crying, and baby, she is crying. I'm like, did he really hit you that hard, girl, or you just milking it? Which, you know, he still got to learn to keep your hands to yourself. But I thought this was a great scene. I like that, you know, they're educating people about autism, especially in the Black community, because over the last few years, autism has been very prevalent in our community. Someone close to me has autism, And it can be frustrating sometimes when you're figuring, you're learning this new dynamic and you're figuring out how to deal with them. And please don't take my words out of context, because autism kids are so great. And I hate to say that when people be like not normal, because I feel like it's not that they're not normal. They just do things a little differently. So yeah, I love the way that Steve, he pulled over and he made sure that his daughter was okay, and how that the daughter got in the front seat and Dr. Mimi got in the back, to calm the son down. And sometimes that's all they needed. I like this conversation. I like that their vulnerability behind it, because so many people are going through it, y'all, especially us. And like I said, in the last few years, it's been like very heightened, especially in little black boys. And so I think that that this is like their storyline is very relatable, because it's a lot of people going through it and they don't know how to, they don't know sometimes how to deal with it, and how to figure things out. Like, I had a friend and her son had autism, and she wasn't aware of certain stuff that they had for kids that do have autism. And I told her, like, you have to advocate for your child, and you have to push, and you have to, don't take no for an answer. And she went and she did just that, and her baby he's thriving and stuff a little, better than what he was. And so I just feel like, sometimes people don't realize that they have resources and stuff, and a lot of times we in our community don't take advantage of those resources for different reasons. And a lot of those resources can be free, it's just different stuff. So I do like that they're shedding light on this, on autism. I just think that this, like, people need to know, because a lot of people are going through it. And autism is such a broad spectrum. If you have kids that are literally high functioning, not just kids, people period, that are high functioning on the spectrum, and you have some that may not function as high. But just because you have autism doesn't mean that you still can't grow on to be great, do great things and stuff. The person that is close to me that has autism is high functioning. The speech has gotten a lot better, but at first the speech wasn't the greatest. But speech therapy has helped tremendously and has gotten a lot better. So, like I said, and this person is very high functioning, and they understand well and all of that. So I just, I like that they're shedding that light, just because it's somebody I know need that, and I feel like that's real reality. Yeah, we like the drama and we like to be entertained, but I feel like that's real, raw, authentic reality, because some people don't want to even talk about certain stuff that they are going through. So I like that they are putting that out, and someone I know can relate to that. So Toya is talking to Eugene, and she's letting him know that she sent the petty message to their group chat, and she was like, who fake ass purse is this? And Heavenly replied back and was like, that's mine, but my house is paid off. And so Toya replied back, and Heavenly replied back, basically talking about Eugene's manhood and how it was little and all this and that. Toya feels away. But my thing with Toya is, Toya, you throw shade, you got to be able to take it. And I said, when I watched it, I said, oh yeah, Toya mad because Heavenly didn't hit a nerve. Because, yeah, my bag may be fake, but my house is real. I've been there. And that Eugene is like, well, it should be paid off. You've been there for years. It's the fact that Toya try to act like she's just so above, and she just have all these grand things. And I'm not mad at it, because I do like Toya's, like, her design and stuff for her houses. Like, they look good. I feel like she's great in that area. I feel like she should pursue that area. But I do feel like Toya has always throw the low-key shade and has always tried to act like she's above everybody, but low-key feel away because Eugene and her finances have not always been in the greatest place. We know they owed the IRS at some point. We know, I think they showed this is her 5th house, you know, since the show. And so she feels away. And I feel like Toya may not feel like that she's up there with the other ladies. So that's why she overcompensates. That's why she's always been very materialistic, if that makes sense. I feel like, because Toya always talk about how much some cost and this and that. Like, that's why when she was talking about Contessa and the $40,000 party, I'm just like, Toya, you are the one to talk, because you spend a lot of unnecessary money too, babes. And just like she was talking about, she wouldn't carry a Coach bag. Baby, Coach is that girl, and Coach has been that girl for years. Some of those Coach bags be outlasting those higher end bags, but that's a day for another. That's another story for another day. But yeah, Heavenly hit a nerve, and now she mad. We wouldn't know about Eugene's manhood, Toya, if you hadn't said it on national TV. And that's what I be talking about. Like, these ladies disrespect their husband. Well, Contessa and Toya disrespect their husbands. And then when people throw it back in their face or have something to say about it, y'all are looking crazy and y'all are mad. But baby, you're giving people the ammo. Like, and Heavenly just hit a nerve when Toya tried to be funny and talk about the purse being fake. And Heavenly hit a nerve when she said that, well, her house is paid off. Like, bitch, you can talk about me having a fake bag, but I got the deed to this over here. And that to that, you know. And I can't lie. Heavenly ate with that line. Heavenly ate with that, because I ain't gonna lie. Somebody like, Toya, you trying to be funny? Okay, bitch, you're trying to be funny, bitch, I'm going to be funnier. You want to laugh? I'm going to make everybody laugh. Like, that's me. So, you can't be materialistic. It's a lot of people that are so materialistic, and they think you got money just because you have on this brand and that brand and this and this. If your bag not real, Heavenly and them ain't broke. Let's just be clear. She's a dentist, her husband is a doctor, and they're getting money from the show. They aren't broke. They aren't. And it's okay. So it's like, Toya, you can't be mad when people throw the shade back. You started it. So everybody at the party, and Toya's having a party, everybody at the party, and Toya is trying to get the men to play a game. The men don't want to play a game really for real. They all sitting back, eating, drinking, talking, you know, having a good time. Toya wants them to play a game. She's like, y'all need to get up and play this game so we can see who in the best shape. And then we can make sure when we go on the trip that everybody looks good taking off their shirt. Okay, well, Eugene is like, I'm going to write all the men a script, because this not what we signed up for. We done skipped the day of work and we're trying to chill. We're not trying to get up and do all this extra shit. So Toya is Toya. She got mad and she told Eugene that she needed him to be the leader of the house and to lead his friends. And so Heavenly was like, nah, Toya. I think Heavenly, Mimi, and Brandy kind of said something. And they was like, nah, Toya. But I don't think Heavenly, we know Heavenly the most vocal. Heavenly's like, nah, Toya, don't say it like that. Call him daddy. And, Dr. Eugene, he agreed with Heavenly. And Toya is mad about it, and she's like, cause I think Toya was drunk, child, and we already know she crazy. Like, she gonna go off on Eugene. And I'm not even mad at Toya going off on Eugene, because we been there. Women, we been there. It's just the way you done it. Like, you didn't have to go off on him and say all that in front of everybody. It's a way to do shit. You know what I'm saying? When you do it in front of everybody, now you putting everybody in y'all business. Now everybody looking at Eugene crazy. Eugene may not have a problem with it for real, because he know you. He know how you act. He know how you get down. He said, I've been married for 18 years. I get over this. Because y'all got their relationship. He know what it is. But you have to be mindful that not only are you in front of y'all friends and y'all coworkers or whatever, y'all peers and stuff, but you are filming a show, baby, and they are going to air this. And it's like every season, you pick a different way to excuse me, you pick a different way to humiliate and embarrass this man. Like, and it's like, for what? Like, because they don't want to play a game, Toya, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Then he got mad because, then she got mad because Eugene is trying to see what the hell is the problem. And she's like, she's like, don't compare me to them bitches because they don't talk to their husband because everybody didn't agree with her. And it's just like, when you wrong, you wrong. And instead of saying you wrong, you fit to make this a heavenly self. And we know Heavenly do shit all the time, but I do not feel like Heavenly was really being malicious this time. I feel like Heavenly was just like, Toya, you doing too much for real, because you were doing too much. And y'all, Steve in the cut looking over his glasses. That had me laughing. But I just feel like Toya is really not happy. And Toya is another one who low-key haven't been happy in her marriage for a while. And I don't want to just dissect nobody's marriage or not, because I don't know these people in real life, and I don't know their dynamic in real life. But, and I'm going to say allegedly to all this bullshit, because like I said before, I don't got no coin for y'all. Anyway, I do feel like Toya feels a way with whatever is going on in their relationship, because she complains about something Eugene is not doing right every season. I hope this is part of her storyline, but at this point it's just like, girl, it cannot be that bad. And if it is, y'all need to figure it out off camera. Like, come on now. So Steve asked Eugene, do they always get into it like that? Is that extreme for them? And like I keep saying, Eugene is like, he should have read the room, and that she's been stressed about having everybody else. But like I keep saying, I don't think that no relationship is perfect. Let's just start there. But Toya do something every season to embarrass this man. And I just think Eugene, she's saying that he's not like that off camera. I would hope that he will drop his balls a little bit and kind of get back with you. I'm not saying that no like abusive type shit. No, nothing like that. But Toya's that person that you gotta put in line, because if you don't, she's gonna walk all over you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said previously, I feel like whatever they have going on outside of his job situation. At first, she wasn't getting enough. Now that he wants some, she don't want to give him none. His stuff was little. It's always something with Toya. And it's just like, I think Toya is cool. Like, y'all know, I don't like to side dislike these ladies, because I don't know them in real life. And I know it's a show, they playing their roles for their job, But at the same time, I don't see how people be like, Toya the realest, and Toya has always, she's cool. I'm gonna say she's cool. I like some stuff about Toya. I like her designing and stuff. I like some stuff about Toya. Toya gonna call you out. I appreciate her sometimes. But I do feel like Toya, she's been low-key jealous of people too. She has her way. She always embarrassed her husband. And she's very obnoxious and very, try to have an elitist attitude. I don't know why, but yeah. So it's always been a little stuff about her that I don't like, and that brings me back to the Quiet. I know her and Quiet are cool right now, and they're trying to work on their relationship. But that brings me back to her, Toya and Simone, how they don't like Quiet, and I feel like it's because Quiet left her relationship and she was able to thrive and be happy. But then again, I don't think they're looking at it. Quiet didn't have no kids from Dr. G, so it wasn't, Simone, her kids are grown now, but like Toya, she may be, whatever the case is. And I don't feel like her and Eugene just have the best relationship. I feel like compared to some of the others on the show, yeah, maybe so, but we're all human. Everybody go through stuff. Everybody have relationship issues at some point in time, especially when you've been married and stuff for a long time, and that's okay. But it's how you handle it. And what you did on TV is just like, you don't have to always embarrass this man to get your point across. Toya proceeds to put Heavenly and Mimi out. So, you know, Heavenly gonna speak her mind. I'ma go. But I just feel like Toya is just embarrassed. I agree with Dr. Jackie that Toya is embarrassed that she has embarrassed her husband once again, and now she got to find somebody to blame. And it's easier to blame Heavenly because Heavenly done had issues with everybody. I don't even know how this became a whole Heavenly situation. Well, I take that back. I do know how. Toya was already still low-key mad at Heavenly for their comment about the house situation. They really struck a nerve in Toya, and so when she went off, it was just easy to put the blame on Heavenly and have a problem with Heavenly. And now it's classic Toya. Now she want to recruit everybody to remember about how they didn't have issues with Heavenly. And honestly, Heavenly didn't even do much unless it was edited out. Heavenly didn't. Y'all know Heavenly is quick to say your mama, say some crazy shit, and not give a damn. Heavenly actually didn't say anything wrong in this instance. I'm like, what is the real issue, Toya? Like, you disrespected your husband. You did that. You mad because Heavenly wasn't fake like the rest of them being in your face and coddling you and acting like what you did wasn't wrong. You feel me? Oh, Contessa, everybody in their relationship argued. That's not the issue. We never said, it never was said that everybody in their relationship argued. It's the fact that she did it. Her husband felt disrespected. Heavenly just was the more real one to open and say, hey, Toya, don't do that. Don't do that in front of everybody. Toya, you embarrassed. You feel away. You drunk as hell. And now you want to blame Heavenly. You want to blame Mimi. And your Brandy apologizing. And that's the thing. What Brandy should have said was, I apologize if I made you feel away. But friend, you was wrong. But y'all don't be real enough. Y'all don't be real enough to do that. Y'all be acting like, okay, since Heavenly had an issue with everybody, let me just make everybody gang up on Heavenly. And I'm not even taking up for him. Like, as far as I know, Heavenly done did some shit in the past, which all of y'all done some shit. But it's just the simple fact that y'all try to make it seem like Heavenly was in the wrong, Toya, when you wasn't the one in the wrong, baby girl. And it's okay. Like, Eugene loves you. He's still with you. What's the problem? It's like, but I just thought that was like, all y'all was clowns sitting at a table trying to make this about Heavenly when you are the problem, Toya. You disrespect this man every season. And that's the problem right there. But it's crazy how everybody turns on Heavenly because they don't really like Heavenly for real. So the people that don't like Heavenly for real, it's easy for them to side with Toya. Toya, you mad because Heavenly hit a nerve about your house not being paid off and about because you always moving and about Eugene's manhood. But this is stuff that y'all have put out there. Especially his manhood. Toya, nobody would know and could have anything to say about your man and what he packing. But people can say this because you the one who put it out there. Yet again, a time you disrespected him. So yeah, this is classic behavior. That was it. And I just feel like in this situation, Heavenly wasn't wrong. So yeah. Anyways, don't y'all forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, bye y'all.